Question everything, for the truth should not be televised, and that's for sure. So with that, let's get right to it. When it comes to the prison population, I'm always telling y'all about the federal census of ethnic arrests in America and how that goes down and how it breaks down. And when we look at how it breaks down, we already know that we don't get arrested more than the actual colonizers themselves. They get arrested way more than we do. They just get plea down deals and different types of bargaining chips that allow them to get out of the position of going to prison, thus getting arrested but not going to prison. So they can get arrested for different types of crimes that they commit into 15, 16 accounts or more. But at the same time, never see prison. But you and I, that's very, very, very unimaginable and 100% unlikely to happen as Aboriginal Negroes of America. And that's just the truth. So with the graph that I just gave out, it showed about 8 countries that have a prison population anywhere from Israel to Lebanon to Canada to Japan, Germany. It was quite a few of them. You know, Argentina. It's unbelievable that if you add up all these countries and whatever ones else that I have missed, all their prison population still don't overcount the amount of prisoners that United States have as Aboriginal Negroes of America sitting here in prison. 8 countries. And we still outdo them with locking up Negroes in America. Do you think that's by accident? Or would you think that has everything to do with the fact that we haven't been liberated at all when it comes to dealing with the colonizers who had Holocaust, massacred, and genocide our forefathers, and then their forefathers in turn took all the resources, all the wealth from the land, as well as took ownership of the land, and then passed it down as generational wealth to their inheritors today, and they are maintaining our suffering and maintaining our oppression. Wouldn't that be the real reality behind why we are demonized as the criminals of America on their platforms when it comes to them being the colonizers who control the media, the news, the political aspect of who we are and what is going on in America? Wouldn't that be the real reason, real reality, and real reason why we are looked down upon here in America? And the sad thing is, you know, for us as the victims of oppression, the victims of a Holocaust done to us by the same controllers who are controlling America, the greatest criminal empire that ever existed as United States. The same ones that's controlling it as the inheritors today are the ones who are pushing and selling us as the criminals and the degenerates of America. How did that even work? And not to mention all you nations that are out there that are not colonizer nations in the form of what has done to us, what was done to us here in the United States of America by the colonizers here as Aboriginal Negroes. For all y'all that's not those folks, how do they get a pass, but we don't get a pass, being the fact that we never been liberated? Huh? When it comes to dealing with us on a moral level, on a humane level, how do you side with those that inherited a generational wealth in land that was stolen in pilgrimage and robbed through Holocaust of another nation, genocide of another nation, and massacre of another nation, not to mention the crazy amount of terror that was put on this nation called the Aboriginal Negroes of America? How could you side with those that benefited from that? And you as a benefactor from it, how do you not want to give any type of justice in the form of reparative justice to the Aboriginal Negroes of America, knowing that you stand true to having all the greatest communities throughout the United States based off of what been done through crime and some of the most horrific acts that have ever taken place on this soil we call America? How could you not want to denounce that by doing the right thing and giving justice to those that you have did wrong? We sit here in ghetto slums and hoods as Aboriginal Negroes of America based off of all those truths. And yet we try to bicker amongst ourselves with feelings and emotions instead of justice and honor for the truth that has been done. Because this don't got nothing to do with individual feelings. This is the outcome of the reality of what United States, the greatest criminal empire, has done to a people and never ever been brought to justice for its wrongs. And the people that had benefited from that crime, passed all that criminal wealth through generational wealth down to their inheritors that we see still to this day, leading and controlling everything in the United States 100%. That is the reality of it. This is where we stand as Aboriginal Negroes of America when we say we want reparations in the form of money and land owed to us in the trillions of dollars and nothing else, thus leading us to liberation, separation from those that still hate us to this day, from what the federal census of ethnic hate crimes say right now as we speak in 2024 as us being the most hated number one on that list that the federal census have. So these are not games, and these are not untruths. These are the realities of what we are living as Aboriginal Negroes of America. And you all know. You all know. And you all feel it. And you all understand. And that goes for all nations here in America that came here to this soil for the freedom that our people spilled all of our skin, blood, and many other things to get us to where we at. This is the reality to that. You got to get past the trick bags and lies that the system is willing to push to you 100% because the land is stolen, because the resources is stolen, because everything that is passed down and everything that is being benefited from the colonizers have been done based off of a Holocaust, then the land itself is sitting in blood. The resources that we use every single day is sitting in blood. And that's just the reality to it. We running around here on top of crime, talking about crime on top of crime that never ever been brought to justice. That's just what it is. They say, oh, two wrongs don't make a right. Well, two wrongs is a wrong. But at the end of the day, if you're only willing to deal with the second wrong and not the first wrong, then we just all are wrong. Thus, where are we going with that? Because this is where we stand. So every time you see the Aboriginal Negroes and you say, well, look what they're doing. Well, look how we got here. Look what put us in this position of ghetto slums and hoods. Look what put us in the mindset of what we think like today based off of the political power that we don't control that manipulate our every avenue of movement that we stand at right now as I speak in 2024. Look at the progenitors of the people that actually orchestrate the movement and thought pattern of what goes on in our communities and then judge them. Judge them for the wrongs that they have done to us and still allow to be pushed to our communities. They are the same ones that fund gangster rap. Oh yes, we got many of our people that done sided with the destruction of their own nation and their own race. We hear them talk about it all the time. Oh, that's not the agenda of upliftment and empowerment of the black man or Aboriginal man and woman of America. That's not what Hollywood is looking forward to do, allegedly. You hear Ice Cube and many of them say that. But you also seen all of them take the bag to keep us in the position that we in. To get their fame, to get their fortune. They was willing to roll and sell us down the river. Let's just be real. Oh yeah, because that's the reality to it. Because if you knew you were signing contracts that was going to push poison in your own community into the millions of babies that will be watching and wanting to follow and idolize you mindset, then you are guilty. You are guilty for the destruction of your own people as well. There's no walking away from that. That's just what it is. When you look around our community, we don't have no economic growth and no businesses in our community, then that falls on you too as the wealthy of our nation who's getting paid to be wealthy from those so-called colonizers that are paying you through contract. And you're not coming back to your communities to open up small businesses and businesses to build economic growth in your communities, then you are at fault as well. There's no pass to that. This is just what it is. So when you look at the different documents that are sent out when it comes to dealing with what's going on with our people being mass incarcerated here in the United States, it goes back to that same old sin of what has been done to our people for over 600 years by not being liberated and not separated from the colonizers that inherited our suffering and are maintaining our oppression. That is exactly what is going on. And that's where we stand. And until we get liberation, until we get reparations, until we get a ground to be able to fend for ourselves, to be able to feed ourselves, to be able to be on our own land under our own government once again as the Negro nation, then we are not free. We're just people suffering around the people that inherit it are suffering and maintaining it to the fullest while they live in great suburban areas with some of the best land while we living in the worst land. And that's exactly where we stand. And with that, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. For that is the question. You let me know. Peace, peace.